Good evening and welcome to BackChat. I'm your host, Tamba Madima. This evening we're chatting to Sibusiso Sishi, a 400-meter athlete, former 400-meter athlete. He's in the building with us. So we're going to have a good time. So I hope you guys are excited for this one. Welcome, everybody. My name is Tamba Madima. And we're back. We're back for more chats with Sibusiso Sishi this time around. So yeah, hop in, guys. Make sure to send your questions. Get involved. This is interactive. We're gonna have a great time. So if you are joining us, welcome and thank you for joining. Matt Quinn, I see you. Kapi, I see you. Lisedi, I see you. It's Dan Mbali. Welcome, guys. Good to have you. Niels De Silva, good evening. Lila Alonso, I see you. Welcome. We're gonna be going live with Sibusiso Sishi. Hopefully he's in the building and ready for this one. But we are live. Speedster Alyssa Conley is in the building. I see she's been posting some 200-meter or 100-meter races, reminiscing of the past. Speedster, it's time to come back, yo. Do the right thing, come back on the track. It's time to work. Kieran Walker, I see you. Welcome to you, brother K. Amo. I see you. Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody is doing good. Like I said, this evening we're chatting to Sibusiso Sishi. He just hopped on right now. I'm going to send him a request. So, looking forward to this one. If you have any questions, make sure to send your questions through. We're going to try to cover as many as possible. Sishi!
Hey, Timber, how you, man?
How you doing, brother?
I'm good. Yourself, man?
Cool, man. Thanks for joining us. I think this is going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to this one. You know, for these new cats who don't know who you are, they're going to learn a bit today.
Yeah. It's been a while.
It's been a minute. How you been, though?
No, life has been good since I've left. 2013?
Yeah, 2013.
Yeah, it's been a while. 2013, I left and never looked back.
Until now, Sishi, it's time to look back. It's time to look back now. So, I mean, yeah, thanks for making time to chat with us. You know, it's always good chatting with former, top athletes. 400 meter is obviously one of those ones. So, yeah, big up to you, man.
Yeah, no, thank you. And thank you as well for inviting me, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me do this, Sishi. I'm going to do an introduction just so that the people who are watching have an idea who's in the building, and then we'll take it from there. All right, with us, ladies and gentlemen, we've got Sibusiso Sishi. He is World Championships 4x400 meter, was part of the SA squad, World University Games 400 meter silver medalist, African Championship 400 meter bronze medalist, SA under 20 400 meter bronze medalist, USA Championship 400 meter gold medalist, as well as the SA 400 meter champion. Ladies and gentlemen, Sibusiso Sishi. Woo! Thanks for joining us, man. I think it's an honor, and we're gonna have a good one. Where's my horn? Here's my horn.
Oh, you got a horn. Jesus. You came prepared. I like that.
Yeah, man. I've got a horn for you. So big ups. So tell us, it's a long time since you've been on the track. Like you said, you haven't stepped on the track since 2013.
Yeah.
Sheesh. What's life been post-track? Before we get into details, how does it feel like not running anymore, training, lactic, traveling? What's life been without that?
I don't miss it. Let me say it like this way.
Don't lie.
I don't miss the competitiveness of it.
Yeah.
I don't miss the training, because 400 meters is one of those events where you just go, oh no, like, why did I pick this event, or how did I even get to this event? Yeah. So since I left athletics, life has been good. Pushing on, basically in corporate now. I've got different challenges in life, physical and mental. So basically my physical challenge now is gym. I actually do enjoy pushing heavy weights in gym.
I've seen.
And my mental challenge is basically running my business, So
Yeah.
So yeah, so I've just replaced. I've taken the competitiveness of athletics and everything that went into athletics, and I just channeled this into other places.
Yeah, dope. We'll get into that. I just wanted to just
Mm.
know a bit, or you need to start from the beginning. So obviously, like the 400 meter, like you said, it's a difficult event. I mean, you literally have to eat lactic for breakfast, lunch, and supper.
Yeah,
Uh, it's a
and
hard
in training
balance.
too, eh? You eat that in training and in competition. I was actually joking with my PT Danielle, who's actually on this call as well.
Yeah,
Actually
yeah.
watching the video, I should say. And yeah, so yeah, he was busy bringing back all the old memories of lactic acid. It's not fun. It still scares. It still scars me, and it still scares me.
You don't get over it. You'll never get over it.
No, you
But
don't.
let's go to the beginning. How did this journey start? So obviously, I mean, for those who just hopped on, we mentioned you were as a champ. You've been to world championships as well, running the 4x4. You've traveled the world, seen places the way you probably can see them now with the business and so on. But I mean, then it was like it
You're
was,
focused.
yeah,
You're
the
focused
focus was
on
was,
just the
was
sport.
on running, and it brought a lot of those fruits as well. Where did it start? Did you always know you wanted to run? Did you play other sports before, or was running always your go-to?
Um, so I did do other sports, but it
Yeah,
basically started off in KZN when I was still in Pietermaritzburg,
yeah,
and started off at primary school usually, where in primary school you do everything, you do all kinds of sports, and it just came out that I was actually good at running,
yeah,
and it just stuck with me ever since. So I've been running since primary school, doing athletics since primary school. I never took it seriously until maybe, I know I'm showing my age here, standard five. What's standard five? Grade what? Grade
standard.
what? Grade seven. So yeah, I only started being serious around about that time. Where I remember the one year I was a year younger. I was in standard four, but I was actually competing against the standard fives, and I was actually beating them.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, and it was then they're like, okay, you're really good at the sports, maybe you should focus on it. And so, yeah, and then high school, I did do a little bit of rugby,
yeah,
but very limited. Basically, I was more focused on the athletics. And then when I went to Maritzburg College, that's when I concentrated 100% on athletics,
yes.
so yeah.
Okay. So at what point were you like, you know what, this is something I want to pursue? I mean, being a professional runner or
Mm.
athlete, it's tough, man. It's not like soccer. Like if you were, sometimes I think about it. Like I think of soccer and I think of the amount of teams there are, what level you lie in your
Yeah.
age group. You rank that up. Easily playing for Mamelodi Sundowns, getting a fixed salary, 200,000 per month. All
Yeah.
your Kaiser Chiefs, 300,000 a month. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's a hard comparison. You know what I mean? Because you have
It's
to.
very hard. It's very hard, our sports. It's not easy. It's literally one of those sports where you do it for the love of the sport,
Hey,
because not everybody can get paid, what the guys are getting paid these days. But I think back in the days, like, man, it was a struggle, you know?
mm,
It was a real struggle. And also it's an individual sport, as much as you train as a team, when you're on the track, you're there on your own,
yeah,
your coach, you can't have a day where, for example, you have a bad day, for example, and you can somewhat like rubble from your teammate.
yeah, yeah,
Unfortunately, our sport, if you have a bad day, it's on you. You have that bad day, you own it, it's yours.
yeah,
And,
yeah.
and you've all gone through it, you have days where you're like, oh, you're very pumped, you're very excited to get running, and then other days you just go, oh my word, like, oh, I must do this again, like, oh. Or you don't sleep well, yeah. But and you have to be, and that's the reason why, like, for me, the biggest thing is about self-motivation. You got to be able to
Yeah.
motivate yourself, and it's one of those sports, and it teaches you, and I think it teaches you a lot about athletics. In the 400 meters, it teaches you a lot about yourself, and be able to motivate yourself to actually to go out there and actually still compete and run at the highest level.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, like you said, with individual team sports, it's like you know, it's you against the world. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's not even, you know, I say it does discipline and dedication. All those words like fall away at some point, and it just becomes like it just becomes commitment. It is what it is. You know, you have to do it. There's no you're dedicated or you're motivated. It is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is.
And you know, another very crazy thing I was actually like looking back and thinking about running is there's actually levels as well to it. You know, for example, in high school, you know, you're the high school champ, or you know, you big up yourself like a high school champion, and you realize
Easy going, easy going.
You realize, wait a minute, there's something called provincials, and they slap you around in provincials, and you start understanding provincials. You know, okay, I'm the provincial. Oh, now I'm the Gauteng champ, or you know, or whatever champion. And then you go to nationals, and you realize, oh my word, like, hey,
oh my word,
the stage is here too. And then you get that one, and then you go to the world stage, and oh my word, it totally opens up your, like, you realize like how much fast people are in the world, and it's scary. Like, I remember my first international competition, I was like, holy crap, these people are so quick, you know. And it felt like a blur. The whole race just felt like a blur. So it can break you. For other people, it breaks them. But I think for athletics, a lot of people in athletics, they actually love that. They live for that thrill, you know, that challenge, and I love that.
I mean, it's crazy because, I mean, end of the day, sport is like, we'll do a few greetings to people who are hopping on just now. But I mean, I think you almost have to be insane, man. It's almost like you have to be crazy, because I'm 100% sure that every time you stepped on the line, whether it was in South Africa or internationally, you 100% believed you were the best, or your day is coming.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You gotta. It's almost like an insanity, man. Because even like I find myself so irritated, you know, running the 800 and I'm coming second or third or whatever. You're like, come on, man. You know, when you see yourself, you're always thinking like world records, all those things. But it's not always possible, you know. It's not always possible.
And there only can be one number one. You know, there only can be one winner. So you need to understand where you slot in.
You don't need to understand. You don't. Just run.
Just run. Yeah. But for me, it was a case of it really didn't motivate me, you know. But at the same time, while it's motivating me, I realized I knew where my limits are. You know. For example, like for myself, like I knew, like for myself, as like getting to a certain level was, you know, the highest achievement. I was grateful and I was happy with that. Even though I would love to be number one, you aim for number one, and hopefully you land somewhere, you know, close to it. And yeah, for me, I just realized like, okay, I think by the time I retired, I'm not jumping around. By the time I retired, I realized like I've actually done everything that I really wanted to do. You know, and I could leave the sport without having any regrets, you know. And don't get me wrong, there are days where I was just like, oh, I want to go back to training, you know. Then I maybe go do like a 5-kilometer run, and I realized like, no, this is not life anymore. I just can't do this anymore. It'll hurt me. I'll die. And but you realize, you know, how much work you have to put in just to get to that level.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, I'm sure obviously with running, I think every runner gets to this point where, you know, hey, you get those sessions. You know, those sessions, I'm going to play this sound clip. It's pretty much a realization you get to as an athlete at some point, especially in the 400 meter.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Yeah, you get,
What session was that for you? I know there must have been a special session you had to do that it always has you thinking, but why am I doing this, man? I can go and be a normal person. Let me go study. Let me go get a job. Let me be normal. What session was that? I know everybody's got the session that they hated. What was yours?
And I can really see that. I can really see one of the comments is showing me a fire truck, and there's a reason showing me a fire truck. There's like an inside joke with the Les training group when you hit lactic, you know, and you start swimming in that lactic. Oh man, it hits you in different levels. It depends. This was the first time. The first one I was probably saying Les's group. We had a pyramid session where we did what do you do? I think we started on that. We went 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 800, and back down again.
Yeah.
And everything had to be at a certain time, like per 100 had to.
Yeah.
And I just remember it felt like there were just dead bodies everywhere because everybody was just finished. Tandy, Danielle. No, Tandy Vilagazi. Remember Tandy?
Vilagazi, yeah.
Third, oh my word, everybody was just down on the floor crying, you know, lactic was just burning them, eating them up. That was the first, like, I think that was like one of those sessions, like, yeah, man, like, why am I here? And I remember when I went to Stellenbosch, Mario made us do 200s. I think around about, we did about 15 200s. 15 200s. Talking a fast pace, it's just the sheer quantity of them.
Yeah.
And I remember running with Sean Diacha, and I remember getting to the point I was like, no man, this was like Sean was out there like puking on the grass, like he was like he was finished. And I was just like you know, when you're running, you felt like you're running, but you feel like at the same time when people are watching you, like you walk. that's when you realize as well. And then in competition, there'll be some races where you hit, you know, when you hit that wall so hard.
Hey, that wall.
And in your mind you're running and you watch the video, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was like somebody's pulling that line back, eh?
Just doing this too. Yeah, you know that feeling when you hit that wall so hard and in your mind you're running and you watch the video, at that time when they still had yellow pages, you're watching it on TV, you're like, oh my word, I was basically walking.
Hey,
so
tough,
yeah,
man.
man, yeah. So in those days you realize you're like, oh my, like I'm done with the sport. And then I think 2 days later you always come back to training.
Yeah, of course.
You always rock up on Monday. You're like, okay, I'm back, you know, and you start going back at it.
That's it, man. It's like it's like training or running amnesia, man. It's like there's something that helps you forget all the pain, and then you get back again on Monday, because you have to. If you don't, then you're gonna have like race blocks and all these things. You know, all of that stuff is also reality.
And look, that's what I always said. You know, that's what I said in the beginning. It's a love. You know, as much as we can hate at that moment, we hate the sport, we hate ourselves. But you know, once you've done and have a full rest, you're like, okay, I'm back. You know, I'm fine. I'll learn from it and I'll grow from it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do a few more welcome. I see more people are jumping in here. We've got Uncle Ed, Nix the Runner, welcome. Lungelo, P. Gwala, I see you. Karabo Peter, Lakitaba, Zomusa, I see you. Jane Tipo, all the way from New Zealand, I see you. Conley's in the building. Who else is in here? So many, I can't see all the names. Just wave, guys, if you're in here. I see Ayanda, Tankiso is in here, Christian Lombo, Ray Quaz, Lorna Burr. We'll reconcile after Mtubisi Lungisani. All protocol observed. Can't see everybody. I see Desire, Van Veek, Blackie Beauty, Jim Morrison. Welcome, guys. All right, let's carry on, brother. So obviously you discover the sport, you find out this is something that you want to do, and obviously there's the first level, SA Championship level, realizing that, hey, it's tough, you know. This is something that I would like to win an SA title, but it's gonna take some serious working. Because I mean, when you were running with some real OGs, man. I mean, you were running
Yeah,
shoulder to
with your
shoulder.
fences. Yeah, fences was
Yeah,
one there.
LJ Van Sale.
LJ. Yeah, I ran with some really even the guys from Zim. You know, let's not forget the
Yeah,
boys from Zim. Hey,
talk
hey,
more, talk more.
hey, Tokmo, California. Hey, those boys were
Yeah.
flying. Hey, those boys were flying in those times. Um, so yeah, like when I won SA champs, for me it was about I didn't expect it, to be honest with you. Um, it literally just came out the blue, and I just think maybe the conditions were just right. But it's a
Yeah.
Stellenbosch, Stellenbosch, you can
Hey,
feel
that wind.
in one. That wind, oh my word, that wind. Um, and I just remember on that day when we got to the finals, Les was like to me, um, just make sure there's a lot of wind. There's a lot of wind on the back. Sorry, there's a lot of wind in the home straight. So make sure that you work it on the back straight. Um,
Mm.
yeah, and I just remember going, okay, and then that's what stuck with me, and I worked really hard that back straights, and it sort of like put me in a really good position coming into the home straights, because I remember
Yeah.
when I came into the home straights, Stellenbosch, the home straight is very short. It's basically like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like an oval. It's an oval track. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
An edge. I remember just coming around the corner, and I could hear the commentator, shouting my name, and it's only then it kicked in. I'm like, oh, I'm in the lead, I'm in the lead, I'm in the lead. And I could hear Peter Smith.
Yeah.
He was coming really fast behind me.
Yeah.
And, yeah, luckily the finish line was right here in front of me, and it finished. And it still didn't hit me that I actually won. And it was only after like Sid came to me and said, "Hey, you won! Ah, you won! You won!" And that's when he then kicked it. I was like, "Oh crap! I'm SA champ! I'm SA champ!" Yeah, quite an experience.
Yeah, yeah, man. I mean, like you said, it was a tricky day. People won't even believe, like, winning time. You just had to do the job, and that's what it's
It was
about
funny.
sometimes.
Yeah, the winning time was, I think they said it was one of the slowest winning times of 400 meters, but
Yeah,
there was a wind, but the wind was howling at like nearly what, 6, 7,
easy, -7 easily.
Yeah, it was hectic wind. So even though it was the slowest winning time, that wind was howling
Yeah,
on that day. So yeah.
absolutely, man. So let's move. Okay, SA champs ticked off as dope. But African champs. This is a big one now.
Yeah.
You go to African champs. You probably have one of your best competitions to date when it comes to performance.
Mm.
And I mean, also being on the podium in Africa is not easy.
Yeah, it's not.
Do you remember what it felt like building up to that competition, and also like running at those? I mean, before you say anything, I must add that you did finish in third place. So I mean, that's big. Let's give you a horn for that. Yeah. So tell us,
Yeah.
fill us in.
So yeah. So African champs, first time going there, first time everything. And um in my mind I had nothing to lose, and like had everything to gain.
Yeah.
And and it was also in Ethiopia, so Ethiopia is very high up in the altitude. So I don't know why my body just switched on. It was very nice for me. I remember just going through the heats, and I found it relatively easy. The heats were like, I was like, oh man, well, this is easy. I was very nervous, and I
Yeah.
went up a little bit hard, and then realized when I was looking back, I'm like, wait a minute, the guys are like way behind me. So
Hey,
slow
it's that
down.
feeling.
Okay.
You know that
It's a
feeling when
confidence
you,
thing.
yeah, like when they, there's some competition you just get there and the rounds are just nice. It's just
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
And I mean that's a lot of preparation, obviously. So it sounds like it was one of those.
Yeah, no, like we prepared. Yeah, so that year we prepared very well. Obviously, after SA Champs, so Les, at that time was my coach. He switched it up. Was like, okay, you've got into this level, and now we switch it up for you. And so yeah, so preparing for it, it was hard.
Yeah.
And when you got there, and traveling in Africa it's not easy. Everything, food, water, running conditions, where you're sitting, the heat, everything plays a big factor into it. But I just enjoyed it. I was just session. everything I was doing there, every time I had a run, I was enjoying it. And that final, yeah, so it was quite a hectic race, you know. And Isaac Makwala, oh man, he was a beast, and he still is a beast. I'm surprised the man is still running to this day. Like,
Yeah, 37
you know,
strong, man.
oh man, no, that guy's been running since I've been there, and he's still there. And it's only getting better and better and better.
Hey, man, he's not slowing down.
Yeah, no, it was amazing, and he'll still be running. Yeah, so yeah, he ran very well, and for me, it's a case of I just enjoyed it. You know, I was just having such a good time that everything else was just secondary for me. You know, it's also like a proud moment. You know, so it's the first time also representing South Africa. You know, so yeah, I was just enjoying the moment.
Let's just do a few welcomes, and I'm not done with this story. I wanna hear what it felt like. But I see Lee Julius is in the building. Lee Julius says, "How's the gadget boy?"
Yeah, hey Lee, how's it Lee? Hey.
I see Wade Fraser's in here as well, so I mean that's dope. We'll also take some questions. A few guys have asked some questions, so we'll take those as well in a bit. But yeah, let's continue. So rounds are feeling good. Semi-final competition is tough. Here you are. You're in the final now of the 400 meter. Run us through that and what it felt like. You know, finishing the way you did, and you know, getting a podium finish.
So for me, because I gained the confidence in the semi-finals. So also remember that the against in the semi-finals. So the heat was really strong, and I felt good. And you know, like I was like, you know, if I get knocked out in the semi-finals, you know, I'll be just as happy, you know, with my results. And then I've gone into the semi-final and actually did relatively well. So I just can't remember where I came, but I just know that I just remember the feeling of like, no man, this was comfortable. You know, I wasn't running flat out. And also the final was the next day, so I was like, you know, you can still recoup. So then when the final day came, I just remember like, was I was sharing my room with Tuso Mpuang. Yeah, man, slept, woke up fresh. You know, you know when the day just goes well. You know, everything is just lining up nicely. Got to the stadium. My final was what, I think late afternoon. And I just remember Magda coming to me, like motivating me. It's like, hey, you know, let's go warm up, you know. And I remember also LJ was also there as well, motivating me, saying, hey, you know, like now's your time to shine, you know. And yeah, look, don't get me wrong, I was nervous. I was like I was trying to hold it in, the nerves. But it's a final. And I just remember when the gun went, you know, all those feelings just went away, and I was focused on what I was doing. And I had my race plan, and I just remember my race plan was to start off quick, slow, maybe just like maintain for like the next 50 from 250, and then between 200 and 250, pick it up, and then hold on for dear life the last the last 75 meters. And I just remember it just went well. For me, it was a case of when I turned around the corner, I remember Isaac was in lane 8. And remember when I came out the corner, I came out first, and then Isaac just bolted past me. I could just see from the corner, I was just disappeared. And I was like, okay, one is beating me. I don't mind. Let me just push on. And then the second guy came through. I was like, okay, it's fine. Hold on. And then I just held on. So it was more like just hold on for dear life until you.
Yeah, man. But like I said, big ups, bronze medalist at the African Championship, the greatest Makwala, as I call him. Obviously, that's tough competition, and to finish in bronze, man. I mean, that's a international medal, and you know, it's something to be definitely proud of. So yeah, big up. So you ran a 45.84, ne, in that race.
Yeah, 45.84. Yes, perfect. On the money.
That's your personal best. I mean, so you know, these youngsters, you need to know, man. This guy,
hey, man.
45.8.
These guys are running what, 44s now these days?
But
44 look like 56.
Not in SA, not yet in SA though. You know what I mean? Besides Wade, I mean, the guys are still trying to break that 45, and we'll get into that because that's such an important topic. But I need to move on to the transition of your life, man. So this time is running, but we'll get into it. Big up, I see Matt North here is in here. He's a youngster. Now the kid just he ran a PB of 46, 44 this year.
Nice.
Still a junior, going to World Juniors, but I mean in a time trial.
Yeah.
You must check the time trial we posted. Yeah, you ran.
Wait, the 45-second one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've watched it. Yeah, it brings back memories of the pain as well. How far you can run? How far can you go in 45 seconds?
Yeah.
It feels like you're running a proper race. Actually,
It
is
is.
a race.
It is.
Just against the clock.
Ranti di Khaled, Tapelo Pora, we had Matt and I forgot the other lad. So they were running hard. So that's how you test, you know. So he ran on about a 46.2 pace if I use you know, the clock and how the splits he was hitting. So yeah. Okay, but let's move on. Before I move on, I wanna touch on this one. I see Blackie Beauty says proud of you. Here's a question. Let's take some questions here. 808 Metro says, what motivation can you give to the youth?
Oh, when it comes to athletics, so I remember ASA used to send us also to go to schools and all these things, and I just remember I always say to kids, you know, at that time I used to say to them, you know, if you want to travel and see the world, pick a sport and just get good at it. You know, it will allow you to travel and see the world for free.
Yeah.
You know, and also if you want to go to school without having to pay, you know, saving your parents that university fee, pick a sport and be good at it because what's it paying, you know. So you know, I remember telling those kids that they were laughing, you know, something, but then you can see that they were taking it seriously. I really do love sports. You know, I love the challenge. For me, it's about it allows me to really learn about myself. And I always tell them that, you know, you learn a lot about yourself, you know, what you're good, what you're not good at. And you may find a sport that you just really like. But the most important thing, if you want to travel, see the world, you know, go to school for free, you know, that's where
There's a way in athletics. That's good enough motivation, man. And I mean, I think sometimes we lose our focus of that or lose our track of that because everybody just wants to win, you know, and we don't realize what winning is individually for each and every one of us. And you lose sight of opportunities as well that are like falling onto your lap, and you're like, no, this is what I want. Like if we could just step back a bit and be like, listen, man.
Look, and also, touching on that, oh man, I just lost my track. Like, something about motive. So, man, sorry, I've just lost track.
So we're talking about the opportunities that fall on your lap, and
oh yes, yeah. So it's very much of a challenge for. How can I say it? Wait, okay, I'll come back to it. Let me just refine that.
You'll refine it. Anyways, so we move on to the next part, because the time, like I said, is running away. With regards to obviously running at World Champs as well. I mean, after African Champs, you get on to run at World Champs, 4x4 relay. I mean, being at that stage as well. At what point? I mean, obviously, you said 2013. You said, I've ticked everything that I wanted to do. This is enough for me. How did you get to that stage? I mean, it was
before I answer that question. It's now remember what I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
So the very, very important thing is you know that you've been in the sport since you're a junior. You've gone up the ranks. You know, a lot of people get disheartened when they get beaten like at a younger age.
Yeah.
For example, I was okay. You know, I wasn't SA champ when I was a junior or a youth. I was getting my ass whipped, you know. And then as I grew up, you know, as we got older and older, you know, and you kept training and more training, getting better, you know, things just got better and better as well. I do notice that a lot of people, especially they may get beaten and they may say like, no, they're tired of this, or they want to leave and go, do another sport. They don't stick it out. I remember that guys when I was running on my word, like for some of the guys, like they were way, like I felt like I was like they are so way far ahead of me, But the time when you got to senior level, things just changed. All of a sudden, I was beating them easily and convincingly. Like, even on an off day, I was still beating them, and that's a very important thing. Is that if you really love the sport and you really stick it out, and you got a vision and you got a plan. I remember 2014. 2014 was Athens, right? And I told myself, I want to make sure that by 2008, sorry, not 2014, 2004, sorry, 2004,
yeah.
2004 Athens. Yeah, so I remember 2008 to tell myself like I want to be on the plane to Beijing, and that was my 4-year plan, and I pushed and I trained hard, So another thing that if you really want to hit your goals, have a plan, have a goal.
Yeah.
I want to be there and work towards it and be focused, 100% focused on it.
Sorry. Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
No. It's all good.
Question.
So the question I was asking now was, you see, now I've lost my, what is it? But anyways. So I was talking about the transition. At what point did you I've done everything I wanted to do, I want to move on? I mean, it's hard. I mean, it's difficult.
Yeah.
You were still young. I mean, you were not, it's not like you were out of time. Look at Makwala. Makwala is 37, going to Olympics, qualified in 2 events. You could have easily been running. And I mean, I think another thing that's important to mention, your height. How tall are you, Sishi? For these guys that always say you need to be super tall, you need super long strides.
I'm 175, 175.
175.
Yeah.
That's it. It's not you're not the tallest guy on the track.
Nah.
But I mean, end of the day, if you put in the work, there's damage. I just want to eliminate some of those guys who will have excuses and so on. That, hey, man, if you're going to put in the work, you put in the work.
Put in the work, yeah. Just to answer your question about when I realized, like when, for me, it came around about 2010. As much as I love the sport, and I was training, but in my mind was just like, no, we're tired, we're on a different challenge in life. And I, even though I was still running from 2010 to 2013, but it wasn't like something that I was like excited and like I was gonna push. This wasn't like I was before 2010, where I was like motivated. I'll be there training and everything. So for me, 2010. By the time 2013 came, I really settled in my mind like, no, I'm actually gonna stop running. And so it's a slow transition. It's not a thing that just happens. Like you say, I know I'm done by and I leave. It took some time. I had to wind it out. And also, another very important reason for me was I realized that my recovery was taking much, much longer. I was still feeling Monday's training on Wednesday. And when your body's taking that long to recover, it's either you switch up your training program. But I was just like, I just really don't feel like setting up my training program, And I was really, as I said to you beforehand, like I was really happy with everything that I've done. I was just like, nah, I'm good, Okay. And then I started, weed it out.
Dope, man. Let's touch quickly on what you're doing now, as we wrap it up. So you decided to switch it up. You made the transition from athletics into corporate, and then now you're doing business. Yeah, can you just run us through that briefly? Because I think it's also so important that athletes set themselves up for after the sport as well.
Yeah, there is a life after athletics. There is a life after sports, and it's very important that you have something that you can fall back on once you're done. So on my side, I started a cybersecurity company called Iron Sky. And 2012, Rob started it in 2015, and I joined him in 2016. But it's basically our company, and I've been doing that ever since. And the funny thing is about corporate corporate and sports are very much alike. It's very
Yeah.
competitive. You
Yeah.
know, cutthroat, you know, and you gotta stay self-motivated, you know, otherwise you're gonna struggle. You know, there are a lot of times where companies say no, 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 you know, we're not looking for this. So you just gotta keep pushing. The same in athletic, you get beaten, and then
Yeah.
sometimes you win some. So yeah, so for me it was a case of so I basically took my athletics, how all the things that motivated me in athletics and pushed me, and I've just put it into the corporate to starting the company. So I've been doing that. So I'm basically an ethical hacker. So that's why Lee was writing Gadget Boy, because they and all SA trips that I've been on, every time somebody had a laptop issue, it used to come to me to fix and to figure out. And I'm like, hey guys, I'm here to run, not to be fixing people's computers. So I do cybersecurity, and then for my physical, I love, you know, lifting weights, as you can see from my Instagram. You know, most of the time I'm heavy weights, and so people will be like, oh no, you must go back to athletics. You know, maybe do 100. I'm just like, no, no, the fast twitch fibers are probably they're sleeping right now.
It's tough, man. It's tough. I see Mo Mullins is in here. Shout out to Mo Mullins.
You see, even said the Gadget Boy. Yeah,
he says Gadget Boy. I see Lou Julie says Sishi was our IT guy. I trust that man in front of a PC. And yeah, man, Sishi, it's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. It's good, man. I think it's good to hear these stories, because all of these stories aren't the same, man. But I think end of the day, they do always motivate athletes in a different way. And, you know, balancing, I don't know if there's such a thing as balancing, but I mean, moving from being a pro runner to owning your own company, the corporate world, etc., etc. That's important, you know. And I think one of the most important things with athletics is that most of the guys are studying full time. They have to get a degree because of the bursary, so it works out very well for us in that sense. So the guys must keep going. I see Squeezo Hartley says great interview. Get to see Sergio and Lee here too. Squeezo says you read he said something about it's all fun and games until electric hits.
He knows that. We've had some big competitions, was in PE. I remember PE, SHM. So I was, oh my word, that's how you must get Lee on and Sergio on next time. Definitely.
I've heard Lee on. I'll get Sergio on. Lee's been here with us. Lee, you must also organize. We need to get Cindy Stewart and you know, some of the, you know, it feels like I'm one of the OGs, man. I've been in the game, following it for a while as well. But I mean, so we need to get some of those people back in here as well. But cool. Wade says, I remember this dude on PSP before his runs back in KZN.
Oh, yeah, the Sony PSP. Oh, gosh. I had a PSP. Yeah, I had a PSP.
But Sishi, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it. Good chat. And we need to catch up again sometime. We need to find a way to activate you guys in the sport more, you know, because you do have experiences that can help, whether it's mentoring these young kids, whatever, it's going to help. But thanks for your time, and we'll see you.
Thank you, and thank you guys for all you've done for athletics. You know, I've been a fan since starting, and I've seen how it's grown from you guys are starting to where it is right now. You guys are doing amazing work, and so keep it. Thank you, man. Cheers.
Absolutely appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it straight from the Sishi's mouth. It's been good. I hope you guys enjoyed the chat. I hope you learned something. And we're gonna be back again Thursday. Alyssa Conley, back your girl. She's gonna be chatting with a fantastic. I don't wanna spoil it, but it's gonna be a good one. And we're gonna continue this conversation. A lot of athletes to come. Sergio, we need to keep in touch. Lee Julies, speak to Cindy, please, your wife. Let's get her on here as well. All right, and thanks a lot, Sishi. We'll chat soon.
Cheers, bye bye.
Okay, bye.